Well, now, how come we don't get this little go board? Jeez.
If you really want it.
Thank you. Okay. Get some rouge on here. Okay. Question number 1. Did you really want 4 children?
No. No, we really did. We thought 4 would be a good number. Because in all the motor vehicles of that era, they said 6. So 4 kids, Mom and I, that's a 6-seater. When they started bringing foreign cars, they were down to 5. But you guys had all been born.
Too late.
Too late. But it was really a startling when we got a girl. Then we got another girl. And then the A shows up. And Grandma began to, I think she was more nervous about it than I was. But she was doing all the work. And they were at that point. 135. And we just had to go for it. And voila.
So you weren't committed to 4?
No,
If Gay was
he was supposed to be a boy,
then you would have stopped.
probably.
The world would have been a much different place.
But there's no question that we would have been in a debate to go for 6. I mean, for 5 kids.
For 5, yeah, 6. And you go for twins right away, huh?
Oh, that, anything that would have, we definitely did not want twins.
No, I'm not sure of anyone who wants twins.
I'm amazed how many people. But anyway,
All right, well, I have to admit, thanks to I'm using COVID as an excuse, but my hair hasn't been this long since I was in 4th and 5th grade. And speaking of you're having a 4th daughter, and I guess I can take off the "Why Keep It Simple" hat now. That was, as long as we got that undocumented. But there were some stories around my hair being that length at that time.
Tracy had a boyfriend named Rand, and Rand's hair was way down, really long. And in that era, the college kids were all very long hair. And the high school kids they had not gotten down to the elementary age. And you were really, Rand was big, tall, athletic, good-looking guy. So you let your hair grow. And the Bulge boys were the ones that really started to pound on you. And we hear about that from the other kids. And there was a story that I assume is true. At one time, and I've forgotten which boss, you had it with him, and you tried to fight him back, and he was holding you off, and she stepped in to separate you.
Who's she?
Lori.
Lori. It was Lori. She picked both of us up by our belts, back of our pants.
And said enough. And then the funny thing that happened, all of a sudden, they all started to let their hair grow, and you got yours off.
Now, I've been led to understand, I don't think I found out till maybe college, maybe even later, that the school contacted you guys about my hair and all the fights?
No, they contacted us about the fighting.
Well, yeah, which was based on the hair, but yeah.
They didn't want to say it was hair right off the bat. I do remember that, but I finally turned out it was hair. And I think we even talked to you about it, and you didn't want to cut it at that point.
I guess not, because 'Cause I didn't.
And me being a bit of a coward, I could see if I would have cut it, but, but anyway. And then I don't know how long that went on. It couldn't have been too long.
Well, we'll see if Mom remembers it. The story I heard many, many years after the fact was that the school kind of suggested that if I cut my hair, or if you guys asked me to cut my hair, there wouldn't be so much fighting. And that probably Mom, being braver than you, said, well, if he wants to cut his hair, I'll ask for it. But we'll ask her that.
Could be. But that was not, that was during a time that I was doing a lot of traveling.
Yes, you were.
And I missed that. That's the biggest, one of the biggest regrets of my life, that 1 year I traveled parts of all of 34 weeks.
Consulting.
During my consulting work. And a lot went on around here that I come home and hear about. But it was all stories. I never knew how much was what was true.
You didn't trust us.
But
Well, actually, in that time frame, the long hair time frame, you were working at Deerskin. And you remember what that setup was?
I leave early Monday morning, come back Wednesday night, sometimes till noon 30, but usually Wednesday night. Go down Thursday, come home late Friday night. And I was pretty well wiped Saturday and recovered the Sunday, so trying to maintain normal family life for 5 years was hard.
That was quite a sacrifice. A lot of driving, a lot of time away.
It really was. I enjoyed the job. I really enjoyed the people I was working with mostly. But the real story is that twice, particularly when we were building the new stores, we should have moved. And we bought a house in Duxbury, or contracted to buy a house. And nobody wanted to move there. Duxbury is a wonderful town. And I had a first cousin living there, Teddy Jones, but nobody wanted to. And when the woman called, her husband had a heart attack, would you let us out of the agreement? She said, he had a stroke, not a heart attack. And he needs you to recover. I said, hallelujah, yep.
Oh, I didn't even remember that's how it... I thought you actually got involved in some litigation down there over the boundary.
That was in Boxford. So that was in Duxbury. Beautiful old red cape, high on a hill in Duxbury, looking out over the harbor.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
And we signed the dotted line, gave him a deposit. And my roommate, one of my roommates in college, and very good friend, Link Hansel, lived in a family home was in Duxbury. And Ted Jones, a first cousin of mine, was in Duxbury. And we'd met some people. And so that fell through, and then we waited probably 6 or 8 months. And then I was wearing down again, and we found this place in Boxford.
That's the one I remember.
And Boxford was a lovely old colonial, 12 acres, no, about 7 acres, 6 or 7 acres, and a barn. The house needed some work, and we put about $20,000 worth of work in the barn. We closed and bought it.
You took us to the school there.
And then,
I remember going in to look at the school.
too late in the game, after we had this work going on, we were committed to moving, the house was, we hadn't put the house up here in the market yet, I don't think. And we took you guys down, and I'll never forget, Mom took you to high school in Topsfield, right in the regional high school. No, she took the road.
Yeah, I went to the grade school that I pass every time I go to Annie's
Yeah.
parents' house now.
And I came to pick you all up that afternoon. And I'll never forget driving headed home, and you could hear a pin drop in the car. Not one person said anything. I asked questions about how the day went. What do you think of the school? Nobody wanted to commit to anything. It was clear you were all very, very unhappy with whatever you saw. You had to raise your hand in high school to go to the bathroom. I mean, they were on boom, 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 boom. And this place up here was spoiling the hell out of you. So we had about the concert coming home. And I finally said, okay, you win. I'm going to quit probably one of the best jobs I've ever had, and we'll stay in the Upper Valley. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. And you guys are running. And then everybody, all the rest of the way home was yak, yak, yak about all the shit you'd seen in the school. And that night, I can remember lying in bed saying, now what have I got myself into? And I did quit. The company gave me an incredible party. All the suppliers, I mean, there must have been 200 people there. And frankly, I'd actually done a good job. And,
Imagine that.
Imagine that. And Henry Engelhardt, I tried to buy the company, but I couldn't do it. The other guys bought it. Who were two financial guys from Arthur Anderson accounting firm that left Arthur Anderson to start to build themselves a little empire. But that empire was starting to dissolve, and I didn't know where that was going. And I was right within 5 years of my leaving. They had to start shutting all the businesses. And the two new stores that I built for them, one down near Marshfield, another in Framingham, had to be sold, and they finally closed. And they had to sell all their shoe business. These guys decided the shoe business was all going to South Brazil, Europe, the Philippines. And they thought there was still enough market to buy American shoe companies and make money, but they were wrong. And so the main deerskin store that I started with in Peabody is still there today. I have no idea who owns it. But we started looking for businesses to buy and found Profiles Publishing. It was located in Portsmouth. And it was bankrupt. And it published a state magazine for New Hampshire, the New England Journal of Architecture, and then the Beverage Journal for the liquor industry, and a few other things. And we pushed the numbers, and we thought we could turn it around. So we bought it and moved it to Hanover. in that little office complex south of him. And I had Sharon Smith, no, Peter Randall was the editor. And he did reverse. He lived at the Seahorse and he commuted up to keep working at the magazine. Ultimately, we bought the house on Reservoir Road.
Yeah, no, I remember all that well because I was still home. Gay was home for some of it, but between her 8th grade travels and her junior year travels, it was you and me and Mom a lot.
Yeah.
And,
We had some really interesting employees. Really nice people. It was a fun business. If you had a trust fund or a lot of money. But we turned it around. We were actually making money. But no matter how I moved the numbers, there was no way I could pay college tuition. And live a lifestyle that involved horses and all these other nice things. And maintain the house. There was just no future in it. So
what made you think we should go to college?
it was just the thing to do, you know.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I went. It was just a thing to do.
It doesn't mean you're going to come out with it a whole lot different, but it'll certainly give you some experience.
It opens a lot of doors, no matter what you do, actually.
Yeah. But we sold it. There were the Ehrenbergs. Funny, I haven't thought of that name in years. Owned Capital City Press in Concord. It was one of the biggest publishers, printing presses in New England. And they printed Wooden Boat, they printed Yankee, they printed a lot of magazines. And they were doing some printing for us. And they had some political ideas. The senior Ehrenberg thought he might like to get into New Hampshire politics. Well, a Jewish guy named Ehrenberg from Long Island was about to not be a governor of New Hampshire, which is what he dreamed about. And ultimately, but they thought owning New Hampshire profiles would be a feather in his cap to move on into politics. So they bought it, moved it to Concord. All the help quit. They didn't want to go to Concord. And he set it up down there. I think it lasted 2 or 3 years, and then they sold it off, and then it went out of business. And I always felt badly about that. But it happened that we owned it during the bicentennial.
That's right.
And we published a bicentennial magazine, a thick, really thick one, on the history of all about New Hampshire at the time of the Revolution. And because of that, the state gave us a bronze bell, I think it's upstairs in the living room, for our contribution to the, because with it we developed a teaching tool, and we sent it to all the high schools in the state. We raised money from all the major corporations in the state. And for a couple of years, I really made good use of it to teach New Hampshire history at the elementary and high school level. That was fun, a hell of a lot of work.